Hello, JKDJournals family. We are here today with Prisca Ndaya, the owner of Gold Inc., a web design business, also Gold, a hair extension business, and Simply Motherland, a herbal tea and hair growth business that values self-love and self-care. I know the journey to this place that you've reached in all these businesses and just everything you've gone through to get there hasn't always been easy. So, my very first question for you today is, what has been one of the most challenging parts of your journey so far?
Oh, I would honestly say the most challenging part of my journey would be trusting and the visions and in the dreams that God gave me in a world where sharing your dreams could go wrong. I think the most challenging part would be making sure to listen out for God's voice in the middle of all the many voices that are telling you no.
Yeah.
And yeah, just really having faith that if you at least take your first step and maybe your second and maybe your third, that eventually it'll lead you to the end goal that God gave you, you know? Yeah, I would say that has been my most challenging when it comes to any of my businesses, because it's easy to have a dream and it's easy to start something, and it's also so easy to quit.
Ooh, yep.
And I think the continuation of it and actually following through with it, I think it not only fulfills me when I do follow through with one of my businesses, and or when I make my first sale or first order or whatever it may be. I think it fulfills not only like the adult me, but I think it fulfills the dream of like 6-year-old me that just had the I want to be this, you know, and I feel like it allows it to not be beaten out of me.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. I'm taking a lot in from that, with the different challenges you've gone through, or I should say the main challenge with trusting. I would like to know more about how you overcame that challenge. I know that I'm hearing a lot of like you being able to kind of lean into God, right? I'm hearing more of you focusing on that inner child and really healing that inner child, because I feel like that's what we're doing a lot as adults when we seek these plans, these grand plans that we make. But the main thing for healing that inner child that I'm seeing that you've done is you've doubled down on the discipline to continue doing it, right? Now, for me, I'm making that connection. But as someone who's like hearing this and watching this, what would some steps be that you took yourself that they may need to take in order to overcome these challenges? What would some actual, steps be?
I would honestly say I do start my day by praying over all my businesses. I pray over all my orders. I thank God for every shipment. Even on my busy days, I'm just so grateful that I got 14 orders today. You know, I'm so grateful that I got 100. It doesn't matter. Even if I ever grow and make thousands of orders, I'm so grateful that I got that today, you know? When it comes to, so I'm also a hairstylist, so when it comes to even doing hair, I'm grateful for the gift that God gave me for me to be able to use my hands to do this, you know? But I would say continuing to do it, I think it's the same as working out. When you have a goal weight or a goal body, if you don't actually continue to go to the gym, you'll never get there. And I get it that if you work out for 6 weeks and you don't really see the difference, yeah, you could very easily just quit, right? But then you'll also further the end goal. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you're pushing it further back. You're making it to where even if week 8 was the week you were gonna, now you'll never get to week 8 because you stopped. You know? Um, yeah, I think when it comes to any business, understanding that the first year is not the, no one, I mean, very few businesses just hit the ground running and just become extraordinary and sell 6 figures. And I get that TikTok shows you that, and I get that that may be what a lot of people expect when they start to chase their dreams.
Yeah.
But sometimes God's plan for you is so different from others, and the best thing to do is just to continue to do your one step at a time, because eventually all those mini one steps accumulate to big steps. I think when I started selling my teas, I only had like 3 teas. Now I have over 16 teas, and I'm adding more, you know? And I think it's like, and I'm taking some away, and some maybe seasonal, but I think if I hadn't started, I would have never even, nothing, you know? Yeah, I would say it's hard. It's hard to have a dream and to almost have no one water that dream. So, and when you have a desire to grow this seed into a tree, you know. But I think people need to understand how long it takes for trees to grow.
Girl,
You know.
that's a word. That's a word. Like, that's so good. So like hearing you speak, just like sharing those steps that you took and sharing those steps that other people can take, for me, it makes sense, right? And I think for me, it makes sense because as a business owner myself and as a teacher who teaches not just kids, but now young adults about entrepreneurship, the first thing that we teach them is having a growth mindset. And for me, I think a growth mindset goes hand in hand with a positive mindset, which you seem to have accomplished. Could you share a little bit more on how you've accomplished getting that positive mindset or growth mindset, or is it something that you've just always had?
Oh no. I wish it could be. I wish I could say it was something that I've always had. So, I was actually like suicidal for like 10 plus years of my life. Um, I think dreams. Ooh, I feel like I'm about to cry.
It's okay. It's okay. It's all right.
Dreams one was never something that I even really chased until I became 18. Ooh.
Let me grab some
Big
tissues.
girl, can you give me tissues? Thank you so much. You're the best helper.
Are you actually crying?
No, see? I stopped. But I was crying before. But no. I shed a tear.
Oh, this waddle eye.
Watery eyes? Yeah, I could have been just, it could have been just watery eyes. Yeah, okay. Keep that in this corner. Okay. What was the question?
Fine. So you were sharing about how you achieved that positive and growth mindset, and you left off on the part where you were going through those challenges yourself and trying to get there.
Yeah. So I was actually suicidal for like 10 plus years of my life. So chasing dreams, having dreams, all of those weren't really something that I even considered. Even the idea of being 33 and having a child wasn't something I even like pictured in my life at all.
Yeah.
But I remember one time I read somewhere, and I'm not even sure when, but it was some article or something, and in it he said that with every positive thing that happens, your body registers that as 1 score. And for every negative, your body registers it as 4.
Yeah.
So I think from that day forth, I literally just started concentrating on the positives. So at 19, I started feeding the homeless. I started literally doing more positive so that my body would register more positive things. So for every negative thing that would happen, it wouldn't deplete me.
Yeah.
Before I wake up, before I get out of bed, I go through all of my thank yous and all these things that I'm already grateful for, so that I'm in the positives. That way, once I get out of my bed and something negative happens, it doesn't deplete me and put me directly into this sunken, you know. But honestly, I'm not sure how one could keep a positive mindset outside of choice. It's like you just have to choose to wake up, and you have to choose that no matter what happens, you're gonna acknowledge the greatness that is the day, even if moments were bad. And I think a lot of times where like I had a bad day and I'm like, I can't imagine being alive, breathing with all of my limbs and saying I had a bad day. You know?
Yeah.
Like that seems like you're taking something for granted.
The whole day.
The whole day was bad.
Yeah.
The whole day? You got all your phalanges and you had a whole bad day? That sounds wild to me. You know?
Yeah.
So I think concentrating on the greatness that is the day, even if you have bad moments, and that way you're able to go to sleep and not feel like I had a bad day. Today was a bad day. And you can wake up tomorrow with a little bit more gratitude. But yeah, like depressive moments happen. I wouldn't say that I'm no longer depressed. I think depression is a thing that you continuously fight through. But I would say that it is simply a battle that I'm choosing to win.
Yes.
And it's a choice. It's like you choose happiness. And I know it sounds crazy when you're deep in the darkness. That like, oh, if I could choose light, why wouldn't it? And it's like, because you've almost chosen sadness for so long that you've sunken into the sadness, you know. But once you choose one thing of light, it's like, oh, and then you can choose another, and then you can choose another, and eventually the light starts to get closer and closer, and eventually you're in the light, and eventually you are the light.
Yeah.
You know. But I think a lot of times, once one bad thing happens, it's hard, you know. You start to, and that's how the devil works. So it's like you have to be mindful. You have to put God first. Truly add him in the middle of almost all your decisions. Like, and yeah, I feel like it'll clarify a few more things, but it's a mindset. It's a choice. I can't say it's like waking up and yoga and meditating, because there are people that wake up, do yoga, meditate, and they're still the saddest people on earth, you know? So a positive mindset, that is nothing but a prayer and a choice is the best way to put it.
That was good.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. That's it.
Wow. That was good. So, I mean, you shared a little bit about hearing that quote that talked about basically your body registering that one good thing, and then for every one good thing, like 4 bad things, right? So you couldn't name who that quote came from, but is there someone in your space or in any space that's related, or just any space, honestly, that's inspired you, or you could even see yourself one day working with?
I can honestly say that I am not great at putting myself in spaces.
Yeah.
So that has to be the hardest question on the list.
You're here now. You're here now.
When I first created an Instagram, there was a girl, her name was like, she was an African choreographer. Her name was like Cherie Silver. Cherie Silver. But I don't know if you remember those like African kids that were dancing, and she would choreograph like the groups of African kids that were dancing.
I literally just posted one today. I'm wondering if she could have been the choreographer behind that.
Oh, really? Yeah. But so she ended up like she got a home for, I think, orphanages or for orphans, you know, or like a school, something like that. And I think that was a really big inspiration, because I think she was able to show me that you can use your passion to still truly do God's work,
Yeah.
you know, and give back to your home like that. Like she opened it, I think in Rwanda. Yeah, I think, I don't know if I would ever be able to work with, I want to open trade schools within 15 years or so. So I would love to pick her brain about the ability to do so. But yeah, I would not say that I am great at putting myself in any spaces. So then I've been concentrating so much on my own lanes.
Yeah.
That I think I haven't had the time to look at anyone else, you know? But I need to. I need to for sure. But yeah. And I'm also not great at social media unless it is connected to my businesses. So I don't spend a lot of time online enough for me to even have a parasocial relationship with anyone and be like, oh, inspiration, you know? Oddly enough, a lot of my inspirations are just whatever it is that God sends me, and I have to pray and hope that it'll work out, you know? But I don't really have anyone besides her in mind.
Well, that's okay. I mean, someone's going to watch this video and they may be inspired to work with you. So you might be
right.
Look,
That's true.
Yeah.
This is me putting myself in spaces.
Hey, I mean, when I first met you, literally one of the main things that stood out to me was you talking about the trade schools and going back to Ivory Coast and opening something up that would benefit that area. That was beautiful. So, yeah, you're inspiring people and they're making connections with you.
I love that.
So speaking of inspiring people, we are coming to an end and you've already said so many amazing things, but for everyone watching this, if there was one thing that you could leave them with, just one thought, what would that thought be?
To water the gifts that God gave you. Whatever those gifts may be. To water them. I think to have faith in the gifts that he gave you. What is it? Faith of a mustard seed. You know? I think that I think more people would be happier if they followed through on the dreams that God gave them instead of going through life existing or chasing the dreams that others have given them. I think when you're 6 and you hear that you want to be a firefighter, I don't think that should be something you give up. I think that's who you're destined to be. And I know sometimes life circumstances changes things, you know? But if you can go back to those seeds that God gave you, use the gifts that he gave you. If it's journalism, if it's spreading the word, use that. If it's using your hands, use that. If it's your word, there are people that can sell ice to an Eskimo. Use your gifts, you know? Because if you don't use it, you lose it.
Ooh.
Like, you know, and I think a lot of people that meet 80-year-olds that aren't satisfied or have wishes and hopes, and don't be one of those.
Yeah.
Don't live in the wish, coulda, woulda, you know, like do it. Water your seeds, water your gifts. Be a cool grandma, be a cool grandpa. Say you've done all these things, even if you fail forward. But I think a lot of times people just don't try. They don't water their gifts. They don't water their seeds. And I also think that if God gives you one seed and you take really good care of it, he'll give you more.
Yeah.
So I think, I think more people would be happy if they just lived to fulfill who they truly see themselves as and not fall for what the world tells them to be.
Yeah. That was good. That was so beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing all of this with us and for watering your seeds, because I can already see the fruit of that seed delivering more seeds to others. So I just want to say thank you, and a reminder that you are the triumph that rose from the challenge, and you are never the defeats.
Amen.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.